So it's March 1. I really want to start documenting my garden better. So I'm going to do a little garden tour. This is the entrance to the garden where the dogs can't get to. But I also have created along the fence line here my blackberry bed, thornless blackberries, which I have 2 established plants that look like they survived the winter. Got some new growth, and I have 3 more new plants that are small that are also growing. So very exciting stuff. I'm gonna finally be able to grow my own berries. And when they get big enough, I can take down the fence, and we'll see how that goes. It's gonna be at least a year or 2, I'm sure. So welcome to my garden. No dogs allowed. Sorry. We'll see you in a bit. So, we now have garden arches. And I'm so excited. So we are expecting rain, which is good. It's been pretty dry compared to last year. This is the perimeter, essentially, of the garden. And I'm hopefully going to grow some gourds here on this side, over here. Let them spread out that way. Beans or something over here on the other side. And then we leave the pathway. Oops, there's a chair because it's holding down cardboard at the moment. But the pathway into the rest of the garden. We have our garlic. It's like it's coming up. It has survived the freezing. And I am looking forward to a really good harvest of garlic. I bought garlic this year, hardneck, so it should store well. And last year my bulbs were just really small. So I'm hoping they're going to have better growth rate now that I have some better soil. And as you look up, there's our orchard, where we have 3 apple trees and 2 pear trees. Kind of hard to see because they're small. But eventually that fence will go away when the trees get big enough to fend for themselves. This is my asparagus bed. Oh my gosh, that actually looks like an asparagus I could eat. Look at that. This is technically year 3. Oh my gosh. Should I pick it? Should I let it grow? I don't want to ruin it. This is a year 2 asparagus plant. Haven't seen any new growth on that lately. I started those when we got here. But this plant came from California. I actually had 3 plants that came from California, but I think like the others might not have survived too well. So we will see. Excited. Asparagus should spread on its own. And then I have a nice a bunch of these panels, so we're going to make a little garden bed down here, this little area, by my gourds that grew into the blocks from last year, and we literally can't pull them out. So they're my decoration. So I'll grow some beans. I got a lot of different beans I want to plant this year. Some that are shelled that we will dry. Some unique beans that you can't necessarily get in the store. And green beans. I am going to plant so many green beans because I did not get hardly any last year. So this is going to be a new area we're establishing over here. There's going to be a little fence. Just a short fence mainly for growing things on, because all the barrels here are going to move to this side and go along here, along the fence. So that will establish kind of a line for my garden, because this is going to be the pathway for quads, motorcycles, kind of around the garden through the fence over here to get to the other side of the property. And they'll come from back here. So I have made it very clear nobody is to ride a quad through my garden, and it'll all work out. But we have lots of space. So eventually a greenhouse is going to go probably in this area here. Not sure how big, taking into consideration that you really only use a greenhouse, a few months out of the year. So I can't put all my money towards that right now. But I'm very excited about the structure of the garden that's happening. I have a ton of seeds planted. You can't see much yet, but I believe those are some sugar snap peas coming up. Yay. I also had some other stuff planted in this barrel too, and I don't remember what. We're probably going to get hairy vetch coming up because that was over here wild. And I planted stuff in this barrel, but I don't see anything coming up. And then these 3 haven't been planted yet. We're just letting them rest for right now. I've been watering them so that they will hold moisture. We just expanded this fence line yesterday. It was this way. And now I brought the fence around this way because there's a post over here behind that. We were trying to incorporate that post so it's not hanging out in the middle where people are going to hit it. But I don't know what's going to go here. I just wanted to get the fence line established so that it curves around. We have an opening, and then there'll be another kind of fence line along here. And that'll be growing plants. So that'll be hopefully a visual, organic visual versus, not sure what's going to go over here. In this cardboard box that I made a makeshift garden bed last fall, I planted poppies and all sorts of different seeds, flower seeds. But unfortunately, everything coming up looks the same, and it looks like what I am going to call the Oklahoma weed, which is like a mint. So we'll see. Maybe hidden among all those weeds are some actual different flowers. Not sure. These might be different, but again, they look very similar to the other stuff coming up. So I guess now this looks different. I planted some clover. I've been planting this clover everywhere because it's supposed to be a soil builder, and it just does not like to grow here. It's called red clover. That looks like red clover. And I think so if I can establish a patch of it and get it to start growing, I think I can get it to spread. I have potatoes in these containers here. I lined the bottom to hold the dirt and put the dirt up to about this level, planted the potatoes, and then covered everything with straw. So I have 4 of these, and I actually have more potatoes we're going to plant. Lynn's going to plant some, and I think I'm going to use one of these buckets to plant the rest of the potatoes. I don't feel comfortable enough with the ground. These rows over here are probably the most fertile, but I need to see how much room I have before I start planting potatoes in all these rows, because I need these rows for peppers, basil, and tomato. Well, tomatoes are going to go over here. So this covered row, I planted broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage, slow bolt cabbage. First time ever getting that stuff in the ground in my lifetime. I've always tried it. I got it to sprout last year, but then a mouse ate most of my starts. Some of them went in the green stalks, which were not real successful growing broccoli, just at least not in my experience. But what's really cool is I established this little tent thing last fall, and it stayed this way over the winter. Now, let's see here. Don't have any bug stuff down. So we got 2 broccoli plants surviving here. I am not sure what's going on down the rest of that row. I guess I need to uncover it and see. Because I think some bugs are getting I have more starts in this shop. There's a cabbage. He survived. He kind of looks like he's been eaten though. That's definitely been eaten. That one right there. Okay, so bummer. Oh, there's broccoli. There's a few things over there. So I also planted, what did I plant? See, I didn't label it. Oh, lettuce. I planted a bunch of lettuce and some small onion bulbs in these little areas between the broccoli and the cauliflower. So we will see. I have more starts in the garage, in the shop, and my thought was I was running out of space, so I thought I would put some out here, and if they don't survive, I'm gonna plant again, because we're just gonna keep planting and keep trying, and there's plenty of space. So that's exciting news on that end. I'll cover that back up when I'm done. Doggies are being good. So this little area is probably going to change and become a garden bed. I want to plant sunflowers here in the ground because they don't really like containers. Excuse me. And that container is going to move somewhere else. I bought comfrey roots last year and they have not done anything. I'm really bummed. I spent $20 and had like 5 different roots and planted them 5 different places. I should have just planted them all in the same bucket. But, oh my God. It's comfrey. It is coming up. Oh my gosh, I had given up. I'm so excited. Okay, that's more garlic. That's how I planted all my garlic last year, and the bulbs just were kind of small. But again, last fall, October, when I planted these, I didn't have, these garden rows hadn't been cleaned out yet, and so I planted 2 more bags of garlic, so I figure I'll harvest those first. They just need more water, and they tend to bolt sooner. I also have a few onions I guess I missed picking, or the tops came off or something, that are regrowing in this little guy. This is that Oklahoma weed I'm talking about. It's everywhere. I think it's called henbit. Can't be positive. This barrel is infested with ants everywhere. I'm not going to touch it. And I don't know what that is, because that doesn't look like henbit. That looks like something else. So I'm letting it grow. What the heck. So then we have arch number 2 or arch number 1. How do you want to look at it? And we're going to put some sort of little bed over here. Maybe on the inside instead of the outside, because I'm trying to keep the weeds down over here by the water thing. And so I think the rule, if there's any rules about planting around arches, is you don't want to plant on both sides of the arch, on each side of your panel, because it'll be too much stuff. So over here, I have a wonderful little bed established that I started spreading out the dirt. It looks great. I grew tomatoes in this last year. I'm going to put a bunch of green beans, pole beans, rattlesnake beans, all sorts of beans on this trellis. And then it will grow green. It will have shade that will go this way. Put a couple chairs over there in the afternoon in late summer and have shade. This is my tomato area, which I have to get the panel. We moved it down a little bit, but I got a panel there to trellis the tomatoes. So I will put at least probably 4 to 6 plants over here. They did pretty well over here, but the bugs, worms, were my big culprits. So I don't know if netting would help or some other things. This is a garden bed that was semi-established here. My gourds were here last year. This is the remnants of the gourd. So here I was going to plant more broccoli, cabbage, some of the stuff that's sprouting now, maybe flowers. I kind of want to let this bed, I added a bunch of dirt from the chicken pen down here. So that might be a little hot. I did mix regular dirt with it. But this area just needed some fertilization and some oomph because it was really built out of just kind of scrap dirt, if you want to call it that, last year. But I covered it thinking maybe that would help heat it up a little bit, maybe kill some weed seeds. Probably won't, but at least it's just covered so no animals will dig in it, and it's not exposed to the sun because I didn't want to put straw on it. There's already enough straw in there. So my strategy is just something's going to get planted there. And then I have a little bit of a dirt pile left from my last load of dirt that I got, which has that henbit stuff growing in it. You can see it's pretty easy to pull out, and actually the chickens really like it. So I just every few days come out and pull weeds and give them to the chickens. So that's it. And then I can stand here and get my view of the pond and the windmill. And we really are loving it out here, and I'm loving my garden space. And I don't have a full fence around it, but you know what? So I'm trying to plant extra for the other animals. Again, mostly the bugs. So thanks for joining me, folks. Have a great day.